Hi everyone, this is Norman Kocher again on the same platform, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kocher. But this time I've separated the two. That was more of a video with Aparna and Keshav about a range of topics around cricket, of course, with the World Cup looming, even the IPL, the T20 matches between in Sri Lanka, currently select 11, India playing in that. Then you've got Pakistan playing England. There's a whole host of things going on. South Africa playing Ireland. Quite a few tournaments going on. Paramir Singh, how are you? I'm waiting on my guest today, which is Kuntal Chakraborty. Kuntal Chakraborty has been on ABP News. He was an anchor person. He was actually doing weather and sport at one stage. I think he still does that. But he's now really a sports journalist extraordinaire on ABP News, which has a 29.6 million subscribership to its YouTube, has a major network connection throughout India. He is based in Kolkata, but he was there during the elections only recently. Now he's back to sport again. Cricket's his main love, but he was involved a lot with other sports, including soccer, but he's also now got a fairly prominent position regarding the Tokyo Olympics, and he has a program which he shared with a lady the other night, and he does that. And tomorrow, what's tomorrow, isn't it? The day after the Olympics is in full throttle, so we will see quite a massive turn of events there indeed, where I think even Australia's played Japan in softball and beaten 8-0 or something. That's it. Kuntal's just joining me now. Kuntal, bear with me. Kuntal.
5 minutes more for me to reach home.
No worries.
We'll park the car, take a quick shower, and sit for a live.
Okay, no worries. I'll see you then.
Okay.
So you may have just heard Kuntal is just getting home after a heavy day's work. He's going to have a quick shower and then be on the show to join me, and that will be very special. But in the interim, I see Paramir Singh, are you foreseeing the Gabba heroics there as well? In the England-India series, I think it's going to be full of action. The Indian side will probably start very similar to what played in the World Test Championship, but you'll probably see a lot of exposure there to some incredible cricket. I mean, they've got the Washington Sundars and Shardul Thakurs floating around. They've got Avish Khan, who's a net bowler, but boy, does that mean something. Being a net bowler these days, you end up playing, don't you? Nalarajan, I think Shardul, Tiragi, Siraj, they were all so-called net bowlers. They quickly got tacked onto the series and became the leading bowler. In fact, the leading wicket taker, 5 wickets in the last match, he led the bowling attack. That is our friend Mohammad Siraj, and he is proven to be an absolute legend. Now, I'm just putting up the so-called England newsroom, and you'll see that that press release that came out regarding. Let's not forget, England have got a rather unusual situation now occurring with their so-called the way that they approach their selections. Ashley Giles, which is heads of director of cricket, if that's the term you want to. Avish is injured. What, did he injure himself in the county match? I didn't see that. Please do a show tomorrow and compare Rowett and Bubba. Can't disregard Bubba like this. He's really unbelievable. I'm from India. Okay, that's Bubba Azam certainly has to be looked at. Absolutely, I agree with that. Okay, I'll go with that. But why would you compare it to Rohit Sharma? Isn't it more of a Virat Kohli? So I would have thought that was more the comparison that needs to happen. So yeah, people that are joining us, yes, I will have Kuntal Chakraborty from your ABP News. As you know, I was featured on ABP News a fair bit with Aparna Saini, who'll be joining us very shortly. We both were on that program quite a bit. We did a lovely skit, which was a lot of fun on ABP News, thanks to Kuntal and his efforts. We were also on Extra Time, which under Grey Mind Communications with Debasha Sen and obviously Anilava. And Buri Majunda got us involved with Sports Today. They had a whole bunch of people on that. including Anisha, Tucker, and obviously there's a whole host of other people on that show. India is unlucky. England have named a full-strength team. Why is India unlucky? India got a full-strength team too. I mean, Hardik Pandya is probably one that should have been there. He's not, but nice India beat Sri Lanka in the second with Redmond. It was an amazing match. India really, really, truly did well over Sri Lanka. So they seem to get their act. Sri Lanka's got nothing to lose. Don't forget, Sri Lanka's got nothing to lose, so they can perform well and be under the radar. Okay. Hi, there's Shakil Hubble. Don't know. We haven't met before. So, guys, don't be long. Well, it won't be long. It'll be Kuntal Chakraborty joining me on this platform. So it'll be, very specific to what we do there. Yeah, so there you have it. That's good. About the detail update on the England squad. It is important for us to provide you with a lot about what goes on, because it's something that's often remiss. We don't always give you information about what's going on. We should do it more often. It's something that we should make a habit of doing, is giving you lots of information as to squads and the whole release. And I'm just editing something here. So the England squad's very interesting. You've got, a whole bunch of players that we've seen recently play with great ability. Oh no, code. Sorry, I'm just having to sort out something here that I've done. Do I cut something here or not? Sorry, it's just one of those days where things haven't really gone quite right with my some rather. Let's have a look here. I've got to just check on this. It's important to check these, get these right. Otherwise, we have problems in dealing with all sorts of things here. Let's have a look here. That's all there. Yeah, it's very important when we do this work that we do, that we give you the up-to-date information as it comes out. Now, again, for those that are not sure, the Olympics, Brisbane, in state of Queensland, capital city of Queensland, Brisbane, which is about an hour from the coast on a river. The Brisbane River, in fact, has won the rights to the 2032 Olympic Games. It's the third city in Australia to get that, after Melbourne in 1956, and 2000, of course, was Sydney, which was, without doubt, by far and away, probably the best Olympics ever. And I shouldn't say probably, it definitely was. If you talk to anyone of any note, they'll tell you exactly that. It was a stupendous series, I must say, and really thanks to a lot of great Australian, effort, we got that on there, and it was a jubilation when we got that. But I must say, this was a bit of a letdown when we heard this, and I don't think Australia's heart's really in this particular Olympics. We were the only people. So just working out with the link. Are you trying to say that you haven't got the right link to see? All right, so should be there in a second. So yeah, so Debash is a great friend of mine from Hill. We'll actually do a show with Debash soon. He's met everybody from Usain Bolt to every cricketer you can imagine, and some great legendary people. So he'll be on with the show with me in the next few days as well. I've had Burra Majunda. Burra Majunda was my first live show that I had recently. Well, it's about 5 months ago now. Burra was my first on the StreamYard platform, which I'm on. Then second to that, we had Vikrant Gupta not long ago. I've had Debash said on countless numbers of occasions. And now I'm going to have Kuntal Chakraborty. So Burra, Vikrant, Debash, and of course Kuntal. They're the four people that I would say I've been close to. So, and Galton, of course, Bhattacharya as well. He's been another one. They're five of the biggies in India that I've always had some good time with. Bubba Azam has been fantastic. When he sets the world on fire with Rizwan batting well, they probably need Asar Ali in there as well for Pakistan. They're going to be a danger, and I've talked about that before. It's a real shame that Pakistan haven't played at home. But I tell you, when I say home, I mean I'm talking about in Pakistan, like as in Lahore or Islamabad or Karachi. They've been playing in the UAE and in Abu Dhabi, or in what's the name of, even Oman's coming to play. But now there's going to come to be able to be an advantage on them. Who's the best countries and best sport for this edition of the Olympics? Well, America, China, the Soviet Union or Russian and Russian states in whatever format, some of the European countries with soccer, some of the South American countries. Australia will figure very strongly, so will Britain. But I think overall it's going to be dampened by no crowds, a whole heap of journalists, but they're not going to be any more than journalists. The actual Olympic Park or the Olympic location where they live, the actual homes of the Olympians during the time, they're going to be basically the village, I should say. It'll be quite, there's a lot of COVID cases there already, apparently. It's going to be very restrictive. Quite a problem. Can all sports cut broadcasting, can a free mask to more update live coverage? Okay. You're saying they're going to be able to broadcast with free of masks. Well, maybe when they're in front of a camera, they might have their masks off. When they're in general, they had to. They actually, the update from Buria and Anulava was that they went from the so-called airport by a bus to a certain location, were given taxis, but each of the sports journalists had to be in a separate taxi, which is quite amazing. Can all sports? Okay. Thank you. No, I'm not sure what that is, but it's a super sticker. Very good, very nice of you. Coley has made 10,000 runs, but yes, if we are ignoring the span of time, then Bubba and Coley comparisons is also justified. My take. Look, there's no doubt that the top 5 leading players in the world certainly are Bubba Azam, Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson. I have to include Steve Smith in that category as well, and Joe Root. They have to be all given the same level of respect, let's be honest. Kuntal Chakraborty will be on very, very shortly. He's just getting home now, and he'll be on very shortly, so don't bear with us, guys. He's coming home after a long, long day, so we've got to give him that credit where credit is due. He's had a long day talking about the Olympics. He's going to talk about with us as well. Can all sportscasters be free masks to make their updates? They've got to have masks with them, but they may be able to take it off to make the broadcast, but not when they're interviewing people. There'll be very strong conditions behind that as well. So no, that'll be a very different scenario altogether. So yeah, bear with us, guys. I had to restart this with a new video, but that's all right. This is actually my 422nd, 422 videos have been recorded. This is the 189th live, if you count that other one as separate. So in total, it's 611 videos. Going along quite nicely. I wish Indian hockey might be semi-final, 2 very strong teams to chase gold medal. Yeah, look, there's no doubt about the Indian hockey team, Indian anything with those teams like sports, like hockey. I think badminton as well, they're very good at. Then you've got, that's not ice, it's field hockey, of course. Shooting, they're pretty good at too, India. Got some wrestlers and some judo and some people of that nature. A few tennis players floating around. Cricket will be a big one day when that's eventually on. But it's going to be interesting to see what the story is. We'll get more from Kuntal. Kuntal will have all the updates as far as the Olympics are concerned. I can assure you it'll be very exciting to watch him talk about that today. It'll be very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Because if I look at the way that we look at the Sydney Olympics, let's just pull that up. We've got the Australian Olympic team. We'll go through. The Australian Olympic team are always strong, in particular with swimming. They are always strong in those sports. Cycling, we're very good at too. So it is a rather interesting when we look at the way that we talk about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. But what year is it this year? It's 2021. I don't know whether it's just because the marketing product's already made with the numbers 2020 on it, but it's not. It's actually 2021. So why wouldn't they acknowledge it as being the 21? I'm not sure. Anyway, hoping for medals in double figures, highest for India. They have sent a high number of English from the country ever. Very good. So your personal favourite cricket or any other game in Olympics, well, cricket certainly is up there. I like swimming. I like team sports, which we've got many of them. Just looking at this Olympic website that we're looking up now. Okay, so let's have a look here. So softball, Australia were beaten by Japan 8-1. And the football, the final score, the Australian women's Matildas, they won 2-1 against New Zealand. So they're already 2 efforts. And it's a day 2 update where the Brisbane Olympics were awarded to Australia in Brisbane, that is, for 2032 Olympic Games. So hashtag Brisbane 2032. We won the football match against New Zealand 2-1, and we lost the softball 8-1 to Japan. Oof. So in tennis, we've got tennis. We've got obviously we've got a fair degree of we've got a very strong tennis group. We've got a lot going on when it comes to. We've got archery, artistic swimming, athletics, badminton, baseball coming up. The Australian women hockey roos. We've got James Willett there for. We've got quite a few. Got a very strong Paralympic team as well. We've got a lot going on there. Okay. What's your view between the captains of Kohli and Rowan? Who's going to be best as captain? Virat has the aggression, but Rowan is more calmer guy and have good records in IPL too. What's your view? I'd have to say that Virat Kohli has been captain now, in particular with Test cricket, for 61 Test matches. I think he's beaten Kohli, beaten him Estonia, I should say, who's on 60. So 61 beats 60. 47s with someone of the like of, I think it might be Azharuddin, or Ganguly. So the reality is that Kohli's played most games of Test cricket as captain than anyone else. His record's around 59%. So at this point in time, he's unassailably the best player, the best captain India have ever had. You could argue that some may have been more inspirational like Dhoni, but that's the record state. Kohli's number one. Now with Rohit Sharma, in the future, he's done very well for the Mumbai Indians, as we know, and he seems to be pretty capable. We've got Rahane and Pujara there as well, but you would argue that Rohit Sharma is going to be certainly a great captain if that's what he becomes post-Kohli, at least in the shorter format. The long format will depend on how long Kohli lasts. But he's already, as I said, got 61 tests where he's captain, 59% winning ratio. 60 is where Dhoni's on now, and there's still a lot to go. And Azharuddin's and your Ganguly's, and even to a lesser extent, Tendulkar are a number there as well. So that's a question. Yeah, I mean, Rohit Sharma is a long way from being the best captain that's been around. He certainly is a very admirable captain. There's no doubt about that. Indeed, I've got total faith in that being the case. But we're going to get some more viewers when we start to produce more on Kuntal Chakraborty. He's got such great credibility, guys. We must give him the time of day when he comes on. So he won't be very far off from joining. Okay. Well, why will they change it to Tokyo 21 as it happened every 4 years? Well, not sport somewhere Euro 2020. Well, but if it happened in Tokyo in 2020, then it's good. But it happened in 2021. So records will show it happened in 2020, but it actually happened in 2021. That's what I'm talking about. So that's my thought, Patricia James. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm kind of a bit annoyed by that. So let's look at these. Looking more about the Australian players that are artistic swimming, archery. Okay. Tokyo team. So in the Australian team, we have 487 people who have been selected. 487. in 33 sports, with 262 females and 225 males, 307 debutants. It's pretty impressive situation there. So that was 487 Australians have been selected, 33 different sports, which is not all the sports, 262 are female, 225 are male, and 307 are debutants, which is so 180 have been before, with 400 and 307. So 2/3 are new. That's quite substantial, actually, isn't it? With so many. The youngest is Molly O'Callaghan, who's 17, and the oldest, oh my God, we've got a person, Mary Hannah, is aged 66. Now, what's her discipline? I don't know, I have to find what her discipline is. Opening flag bearer, Patty Mills and Kate Campbell. So, yeah, but we've got someone 66 in the Olympics, Mary Hannah. I don't know what she's doing. She certainly isn't a 100-metre runner. That's quite a shock, isn't it? It's quite a. I'm going to find out more about that person. That's a intriguing one for me. It's interesting, isn't it? All right, Aparna Saini should be here very soon. So will good old Kuntal's. He's going to shower. I don't know why you need to shower when you're on video. We're not actually in a room together. So an exception, history will be changed. I just think that it may be an exception, but don't you think when it goes down on records and in 30, 50, 60 years' time, when you look back to Tokyo 2020 and they look back, oh, when did it happen? Well, no, it actually didn't happen in 2020. Huh? When did it happen? In July, August of 21. Well, I'm going to be saying to you, why? Now they're going to be saying, well, it was COVID-19. Well, that was 19. Now this is 20, it's 21. It'll be confusion. That's what I think. Can't we just put 21 and say, move from 2020 based on the fact that the COVID. Avril, I think I'm not sure that's what that is. It's another sticker. I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, so very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So what do you guys think of the cricket situation? Why haven't we got COVID-21 days? Well, that's a very good point too. Great Britain skateboarder Sky Brown is 13. Well, there you go, Munchie. You've done a bit of record checking. But what else would you expect a skateboarder to be, Munchie? 66? Of course, it's going to be 13. But we have a performer called Mary Hannah, who's 66. Molly O'Callaghan, 17 years young. That's fair point, Munchie. Fair point. But yeah, it's a. I always thought to be in the Olympics you had to be over 18, but I'm obviously wrong. Because a lot of the gymnasts are well under 18, aren't they? They're very often in their early teens to late teens. They're at their peak. You would argue in gymnastics sometimes as early as early teens when their body's not quite formed. They're more supple and able to tumble and turn and twist and all sorts of things, which is quite making me feel bad. So where is Kuntal Chakraborty? He's now a part of, where are you? Join. So Aparna will join again. She was on the other show. So, okay. I know it's just a joke. But it's COVID-19, 20 and 21, and probably indefinitely. Like flu would be another 300 years with the flu. Bubba is just 8 rating behind Milan from top spot of T21, 2021 ranking. He will become number 1 in both ODI and T20. That's great. It is a superb achievement. It's actually huge. Kohli's dropped a little bit in that format, but at the end, Bubba Azam, Virat Kohli, Joe Root, Steve Smith, and the 5th one is Williamson. And if AB de Villiers was still playing at the level, he would have been included, but he's not. There are positive cases rising in Tokyo, you're right, which is concerning. But if they're all vaccinated, all it means is they'll be under the weather when it comes to playing. They won't be in danger of dying. Particularly for Malaysia or China or Indonesia, might win gold medals in badminton, men's singles and group matches, probably. After cricket, India versus Australia hockey match is one of the most anticipated matches. Absolutely. And India and even Pakistan are always a real threat, both men and women. Exactly. They'll be very big. Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Just a matter of how far we need to go on this program. Please ask as many questions as you want. Now, Buri Majunda, who I have a lot of respect for, and Vikrant Gupta, they're people I look up to. They're great guys. Jared Kimber, I have a lot of time for. There's quite a few others actually too. But people who really do spend the time and great analysis, great analysts themselves. When it comes to cricket, though, it's also gut feel. It's not just purely statistical. So Virat Kohli, statistically, is bagged in some cases, and they talk, hasn't been doing well lately. Well, the reality is he's won 59% of his test matches as cricket captain from 61 games. Now, that's a remarkable effort. There are a few above him, namely Steve Waugh, and I think Ricky Ponting, and Kane Williamson's really up there as well. So Gilly Cricket's got Gibshook with a place called, I don't catch his name. So will I just Manoj Dimri from Sports Yara Greatness also do a show with him? Sure, I'll have a look. I don't know him personally, so we'll get him on. Manoj Dimri, I'll ask him one day. But you went to get Kuntal in here. Good Gurkarat Singh Gill has his Gup Shop with Gill featuring Hemant Bush, which is also featuring now. That's also a pretty good. You can always watch that later on too. Now, Laugh Lodge. Okay, I'm going to get angry with Aparna because everyone's some very fashionably late people, aren't there? There's me talking my head off all the time. But look, this is a day when we're going to have a good broadcast. We've got some great person. When Kuntal's on, he and I will talk our heads off. He's certainly a very polished speaker, to be honest. So Manoj Dimri, I'll have a look at him. I don't know him, that person. So according to you, who is going to win the Olympic gold medals for hockey, men, women? Oh, boy. I mean, Australia's right up there. Netherlands is always right up there, and teams like India and Pakistan are generally up there as well. Women's team, I think you might find Australia's got a really good chance there. Australian men are pretty high up there as well. Have a lot of topics of debate in cricket, but got no person for doing it with. Well, then talk to me. Talk to me now. This is your chance. Go for it. Have a chat. Break loose. Pratush, J-Y-A. Explain your name, Pratush, J-Y-H-A. What's J-H-A stand for? Is it like an abbreviation of your middle names, or is it your first names? What's the... In Sri Lanka, they have gay names, they call them. So first names, which are longer, way longer. To me, still, my favourite cricket now at the moment, by far, has to be the upcoming England series against India. That's going to be my favourite. I believe that's going to be very enthralling. 5 test matches, ups and downs, injuries, not unlike the test series that we had recently in Australia. Players out having to deal with the battles, the demons that occur, and there's also, there's lots and lots of possibilities there. Really, it's just so much to look forward to. I must say, really, 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 really a lot to look forward to. Don't you think? I think that's a great series. I think it's a wonderful series. Someone's getting people wanting to know what I'm doing, and messaging me while I'm talking, and they don't watch. And I think, well, then watch the program. So we're losing some viewers here. Just bear with me, guys. We're gonna have Kuntal here very shortly. When we do, it'll be worth listening to. So do hang in, guys. So Pakistan is sending 9 Olympians and 11 support staff. It's pretty minimal. JHA is the synonym in our Indian culture, really together for you, so to speak Asian names. Really tough for you. No, it's not. You just tell me. We could see how strict the IPL and World Cup version of the Olympics. Yeah, there's a lot of issues are out there, I can assure you. Look, to me, you really need to be understanding of the way some of these tournaments have worked, and the need to be disciplined. They need a lot of discipline. You need to have a lot of discipline, otherwise it just doesn't work. And I'm afraid they go too far sometimes. Yes, I agree. They certainly do go too far on occasions, and that does make it rather difficult. I have to agree with that. So we're just waiting on. Kuntal's now 35 minutes late. Well, he's not. He told me between 8:30 and 9, so he's effectively 5. Can play any play cricket, China, any sport. Can India and China play any sport against each other? We're talking about Chiraya Garth. I'm not sure what you mean by your comment. Do you mean do India and China play together in anything that's hard together? Well, China's got a lot of gymnasts now, I believe. They've got swimmers, which I never can understand how they can be good at that, because it's never been their sport. And there was a fair bit of drugs on a number of occasions with and athletes as well. They tend to be a bit, heavy on the hormonal influence there, which is not what it's about. Why not cricket and Olympic Games? Great question. Kuntal, sister. Kuntal.
I'm ready now.
Come on.
So you send me the link?
Yeah.
Send me the link, Zoom link?
Yep, to here.
I'll be
StreamYard. It's a StreamYard link.
But I'll be on the laptop.
It's a StreamYard.
Huh?
It's a StreamYard link. I'll send it to you.
Okay. You send me.
Yep. I've sent it to you about 10 times, but anyway. So I'm just going to send Kuntal a few links, guys. Just give me a second. It's always hard to get these links out quickly, guys. He's got to use. Okay, so let's have a look at the question we've got here. We see the 100 game for both men and women. Why not cricket and Olympics? Well, there's a lot of discussion about the short version of the game. It could be a T10, T20 version coming in the games. And by 2032, which is 11 years away, with Australia and Brisbane, I reckon will be on by that stage, hopefully early in that. Now, we see the 100s game, both men and women are together. They're both playing, but not playing against each other. Women starts tonight. I think it's Oval Invincibles versus Manchester Originals. My favourite team in Aussies, but why don't I think the T20 records there? They don't seem to get that. They're better at Test cricket, of course, and ODIs. Commonwealth too. Any rules get Commonwealth game things? We'll be talking about that with Kuntal, actually, about the relationship to the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games. What is the reason they have got a good domestic setup? In Australia, England have a pretty good domestic setup. New Zealand have one of the exceptional ones. Australia certainly has over many years had the best, but they're just waning a little bit now. India's set with the various versions of their Ranji trophies and the like. There's a lot to be said about what goes on there. Where is Aparna? She's supposed to be here too. Aparna's. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. What is it? Are you, Patricia? Why are you talking about the good domestic stuff in England, in New Zealand? Australia used to, somewhat still have now. South Africa's awful. Sri Lanka's is fragmented. India's is certainly improving. Bangladesh has always been pretty good. Pakistan, it's been so hard, especially with the lack of test matches being played. Can Aussies go to the World Test final number 2 after face India and Pakistan? Well, World Test Championship final number 2, which is in ensuing years, because New Zealand won, I would have assumed it would go to New Zealand, and that could then help Australia's chances. Cricket gets to the Commonwealth Games, then gold medal winner will be the same as the World Cup winner. Your thoughts? Well, I mean, you can have a lot of countries that we never expected to be a part of it. We might have a China cricket team. Who knows? It'll be initially on par with the World Cups, yes. Why not? More important? You can't say that. No, I don't think it'll be more important, but it's still important in its own right. Same with the tennis players. They love Ash Barty and the like are in there, and they're loving it. And Sam Stosur, both great women's tennis players. They really look up at getting the medals as well. But of course, it's a matter of time before we see how far they'll go. Well, let's wait until it happens, and we'll talk about it. And else you do it? Why not? Great. Now because we play BBL, yes. We got our domestic versions there, but I think we don't get the greatest of competition. Actually, we only get some English, we don't get the Indian players there. So, and it's the conditions are predictable, bouncy wickets that we can play very well on. So, I don't know whether there's really anything there for us to achieve on. To be honest, that makes any sense. And whilst it's difficult for the Aussies to win heavily, depending on these two. Well, certainly Warner, Smith may not play at all. Maxwell's probably the one that's really important, I think. And Aaron Finch being fit is another. He's important. Aaron Finch is a very, very important player. Kuntal. Yes, Kuntal. Yep.
You just write that my friend and ABP News senior special correspondent, Kuntal Chakraborty, like. So
okay.
You have written the right designation, no?
Where? Yeah. What have you done?
No, you can write journalist from ABP News journalist and my friend Kuntal is like, so that the right designation, but you haven't written anything more than what I am, no?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it now.
Huh?
Come and talk about it. Come and talk.
No, that's right.
When?
Just coming. Yeah.
Just come on. Kuntal's one. So. Okay, we'll just put some information there about it. So Kuntal is obviously a journalist, first and foremost. He's got an incredible, he has an incredible reach. Just wait for him to come on, he won't be on. So the reality is that, Norman, do you think that the Indian team can beat England in their own backyard? Can they handle swing? Yes, they can. If they learn to let the ball go, such and such, let the ball go, let the ball pass the bat, don't play at the ball. As in the World Test Championship, they did a bit of that. When the ball's swinging, you let the ball go. You learn to let the ball go early and don't deflect it or play half-heartedly. That's the key. And I think Pujara is one of the best ones of that. But Kohli, Rahane, Gill, and Sharma are notorious for playing it and being good enough to get the edge. They've got to learn to let the ball go and get the bat away from the ball when it's moving, or put the bat down. That's what you do in morning Australian conditions when the ball's short. You put the bat down so that you don't clip it all the way through. You don't try to defend it off. In England, you actually have to really let the ball go. It is an art form, letting the ball go. Olympics is even declined, 224 and even 10. Do you mean I'm not sure what you're saying there. In the Olympics, having that as a version of T20 or T10 cricket is declining. Well, let's just give it a chance. Well, Chris Vernon's unfortunately had COVID, guys. So he's been off for the moment. That's why he's not here. Kohli's not a choker. They came to the bank. I've said that as well. The reality is that Gill's injury probably won't play first. As Gill's injury apparently is not that serious. He's been ready to play with it. Mayank Agarwal's a great replacement. Yes, I'm going to put more of my episodes in the podcast. Shara, I've got to just find time to do it. That's my problem. I'm doing so many videos, I've got to find time to turn them into just podcasts. But I'll certainly do that in the future. Thank you for reminding me. Hang on. Gill has returned to India and Avesh is ruled out of the series as reserves. Is that right? I didn't know that Avesh Khan, he was playing against him in the county team. And Avesh Khan was only a net bowler anyway, so. Kuntal, let me just check the link, guys. Give me a sec, guys. Let's just check the link. Kuntal is saying that he's there, but he can't. Kuntal, I'm here, so I'm not seeing you in the backstage. So you sure you're doing it right?
Yeah, I've opened it, and then
just try it again. Okay, delete it and try it again. Huh?
I can't see you. I've just clicked the link.
Yeah, go further down. You've got to put your name in it. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I'll have to put my name?
Yes.
Oh, enter studio.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
Okay. He's learning how to do it. He wasn't sure what to do. So, okay. So now I'm going to introduce Kuntal Chakraborty, who's on here very shortly. So Munchie Coley has a good net during the lunch break, so his back looks to have loosened up. So I think Coley's just precautionary. Here we are going to be joined by Kuntal. Welcome, Kuntal Chakraborty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Norman? After a long time.
Yes, it's fantastic to see you here. And we've got many people waiting to see you. Now, I have talked about you quite extensively as one of the leading sports journalists in India. You're known to jump out of planes and land there with your microphone. I've seen you do that. You're incredibly knowledgeable in cricket. You have great panache. You're well respected. ABP News, ABP Live, ABP Hindi, as well as you've had various guest spots in a whole range of shows over the years. You're the foremost of cricket knowledge. You're also a true sports journalist. And let's be honest, you are now Olympics veteran. How many Olympics have you covered, Kuntal? Welcome, Kuntal.
So basically, I've covered one in London, and I've worked extensively at the desk 2008 and 2016. So in that way, you can say 3, but I have covered. I was at the venue in 2012 London.
But hang on. What was the best Olympics that you've heard about or even seen? What do you think has been ranked as the best ever Olympics in the world?
I would say the Beijing and London. From India's perspective, obviously, I'm saying, see, till 1980, we haven't seen what happened. Just because I was born in 1983, and before that, I have only heard stories. But then, from the time I've seen Olympics, be it in 1992, I was very young. India couldn't even manage to win a medal. So that was a very sad time for Indian sports. And I would say that Indian sports wasn't that competitive at that point in time. Just because most of the athletes, apart from a few selected ones, they couldn't even reach close to a medal. So that was a very sad time for Indian sports. For a country of around 1 billion people at that point of time, that was what the population was in India. So we had to.
But there's one thing you've forgotten now, and I'm very upset because you didn't say the 2000 Olympics in Sydney was the best Olympics ever. Isn't that known?
Could be for you, but then yes. But then India could again win just one medal, and that was in the discipline of weightlifting. So whatever I'm saying is from Indian perspective. Then
Right.
1996 Atlanta Olympic Games, again we had to wait a lot for that one bronze medal that Leander Paes had won in tennis. Again 2004 in Athens, India could manage just one medal. But from 2004 onwards, since last 20 years, last 16, 17 years, if you see Indian athletes, they have managed to become competitive in every sport, almost in every sport.
So how many sports are they competing in?
See, shooters are there. 15 shooters are competing this time in Olympic Games. 25 in athletics. 15 shooters again. 7 or 8 of them are very competitive. They are medal contenders. Again, I don't know how many medals are coming. Nobody can say it's Olympic Games. It's no easy job. But then there are a number of shooters who are very competitive. Again, I would
So,
say
but how many athletes are going to India from India? How many?
127 as of
that's
today.
huge.
127. It's a good number. It's a good number, and even in sports like fencing, where you could never thought an Indian athlete is going. Even 20 years back, there are a lot of people in India. They perhaps didn't even hear the name of the sport ever. So Bhavani Devi is going this time. Whatever she performs, I don't know. But then she's going. India is competing in that sport. That's a huge thing.
I'm excited.
Be it gymnastics. Be it gymnastics. 2016, Deepa Karmakar. She went close to win a medal. So that is what I'm saying. India is now competitive in almost 10 or 11 sports. So that's a very good sign for Indian sports overall, if you see.
Well, we're going to talk about a few things tonight, Kuntal, with you, including cricket's future in the Olympics as well. Before I get to that, though, we're going to be joined by Aparna Saini, who, when she found out you were on the show, she's going to be a part of the show too. Do you mind her being a part of our show?
Pardon?
Do you mind if I bring Aparna Saini on? Aparna.
So let me finish first, and then
Sure. Sure. Okay. So we've got plenty of time, Kuntal. I'll just tell you a couple of things I wanted to say. Firstly, Australia got 487 athletes, 33 sports, 262 females. We've got more females than males. We've got 225 males, and we've got 307 debutantes. Quite a interesting dynamic.
Quite an incredible number. But then Australia's sporting legacy is much more. I would say it has got a history. The Rome is not built in a day. Australia is doing it since a number of years now. But what India has done till 2004, I would say the progress was not that big. Like the progress was slow. And after 2004, when Avinav Bindra first won that gold medal in Olympic Games 2008 in Beijing, after that, India's athletes have performed really well in London. We have won 6 medals. 2016, the number was not that high. It was just a couple of medals. But then there were a number of sportspersons. Again, I would like to say that they were very competitive. Number of them came close to a medal, came 4th or 5th. So I would say if the way India is going forward right now, if that consistency is there in next 7-8 years, we can do very well in perhaps 2032 Olympics, where you can expect around 30, 35, 40 medals from India, which is a good number, and that is how India is going forward.
Do you
think
it's a
good sign for Indian sports?
Do you think, Kuntal, it's do you think India, when it comes to the Olympics, do you think that is it a financial backing that's an issue, or what do you think it is?
So financial backing is not an issue anymore. There is a target of podium scheme, POPs, which has been there since last 7-8 years now, and top athletes are under that scheme. So they are getting every facilities to train at the best possible infrastructure, the best possible condition. For example, if the wrestlers need to go and train in Eastern European countries, which is known as a powerhouse in wrestling. So the government is sending them there throughout the year. They're staying there. They are training under the best of the coaches. They are training under the best of the infrastructure. So that is what they're getting now. So that is not an issue. But then I would say academies, if more academies are built at the primary level, I mean at the village level. So a few days back I went to a village in Haryana where it's merely a village of merely 6,000 people. In last few years, at least 3 Olympians have come from that village, and the level of the boys who are very young, even the girls, they most of them are into wrestling. So they don't have a formal training, but they know how to do it. So perhaps that is in their blood and that is in their genes. So we need to build academies in those villages. I mean, smaller locations, so that uh, the kids who are very talented, they don't have to travel from a smaller location to a bigger city, because that becomes very expensive for them. Most of them perhaps won't be able to afford. So if those kind of academies are built, event specific, sports specific academies are built in those locations, then perhaps that would help Indian sports uh, a, a long way. I mean, India can reach even uh, in a better position in the next few years. So that needs to be done. But then government is doing a lot of work in last few years since 2004. That is what I'm saying. Since 2004 and now in last 16, 17 years, India have gone way ahead in terms of Olympic sports and the youngsters. Earlier it was cricket, all the way all across. But then now the new generation, they understand the value of Olympic sport. They understand the importance of Olympic sport. They understand that in that big platform we need to do well, and uh, that is why perhaps Indian Olympic sports are doing even better. So that is why a fencer is going to Olympics. A gymnast is coming forth, coming very close to win a medal. So some new discipline athletes coming up from some new disciplines which perhaps have never uh, have played in different parts of India. So this is what is happening since last few years, which is a very positive sign. I would say.
Well, it's extremely exciting because we know the development of cricket throughout the more aggressive, the more fearless attitude towards cricket, the level of fitness that's occurred in cricket is coming through in your soccer teams in Kolkata, in your hockey teams, squash to a lesser extent, badminton. I mean, wrestling. There's so many genres now of sport that's there. Just can you rattle off? Do you have a list of all the sports that you're performing in? Wrestling.
So see, wrestling India is at par with the world standards now.
Absolutely.
Bajrang is a 3 times world championship medalist, gold medal winner at the Asian Games, Asian championship medalist. Vinesh Fogart, she's a freestyle wrestler, women's 53 kg category. She's a genuine medal contender this time and has won everywhere. Apart from the Olympic Games, she's got medals everywhere. So that one medal uh, needs to be there at the medal cabinet. Uh, I would say weightlifting Mirabai Chanu, 49 kg category weightlifter. She's 2017 world champion. She's won a medal at the 2020 Asian Championships. But Asian Championship medal is almost like a world championship medal, just because the weightlifters who are the best in the world in that category are Chinese, North Koreans. But North Korea is not there in this year's Olympic Games. So Mirabai Chanu's got a genuine chance of winning a silver or maybe a gold if she does better on that particular day. And then I would say shooting since Abhinav Bindra's gold medal in 2008 and in 2012 when Gagan Narang and Vijay Kumar won a bronze and a silver medal. Since then, Rajivardhan Singh Rathod, of course, in 2004. After that, medals in 3 consecutive Olympic Games. After that, Indian number of shooters have taken up the sport from different smaller villages from all across India. So that is showing now in the results. So I would say Saurav Chaudhary, 19-year-old shooter, Manu Bhakar, again 19-year-old shooter, Divyansh Panwar, 18-year-old, and the youngest of all in this year's Indian contingent. They are medal contenders, and Rahi Sarnowat, she has got a good chance. Number of shooters. So I would say India very well. But the difference between say number 1 and number 4 or number 5 is not that. The margin of error is very less in shooting. So one bad moment can spoil the medal chances. I can agree. I agree with all these factors, but despite that, India has got a good chance in shooting. Then hockey, of course, have defeated almost all bigger teams in recent past, and India is world number 4. And see, when field hockey, sorry, when field hockey uh, went from the turf to the synthetic turf, India took some time to, adjust. But then now Indian this generation of hockey players are doing extremely well. They are good in penalty corners. They know what to do against the bigger teams. They've got a good preparations and had defeated the bigger teams in the recent past. So they've got a decent chance in hockey as well. I would say PV
But both
Sindhu.
men's and women, both men's and women.
No, men's hockey team. Men's hockey team has got a good chance, and PV Sindhu, of course, she has got a good chance. Since Carolina Marin is not there, last year's gold medal winner from Spain, she's not there. Sindhu has got a very easy draw till the quarterfinals, and in quarterfinals she has to face Akane Yamaguchi from Japan. So she can win that round. She perhaps will have to face the toughest opposition, Tai Tzu Ying from Chinese Taipei. Her record with Tai Tzu Ying is not that good, but then Sindhu has defeated her in bigger tournaments. And since she's a big match player with temperament for the big platform, I expect a medal from her. Neeraj Chopra in javelin throw. If you see the season's best performances this year at the world level, he's at number 4. He's at number 4. He's at number 4. Neeraj Chopra, he has got a definite chance of winning a medal. Neeraj Chopra, his personal best is more than 88 meters, which is good enough to bring an Olympic medal. Last time it was like bronze medal came at a distance of 85 meters. So you can expect something good from Neeraj Chopra. And after 1896, when India was not independent, Norman Pritchard, he won a couple of silver medals. And after that, no one from India, and that was not independent India, has won a medal at the Olympic Games. I mean, P.T. Usha and Milkha Singh, both of them went very close. They came fourth. Anju Bobby George came close, but then nobody had won a medal at the athletics discipline. So Neeraj Chopra has got a chance. He trained well since last couple of years, sometimes in Europe, sometimes in America, and he's a very calm and cool customer. So I would expect something him as well. And,
all you need, all it seems you need, like in any sport, you need people for people to look up to, don't you? Now, the people you've mentioned that are doing really well, they lead the way. They become people within India start to worship them and follow them, and then want to look up to them and be like them. And that's what's happened in a game like cricket, as we know. Your Kapil Devs back at the time, or a Gavaskar, or more recently a Dhoni or a Kohli. They're the people that Indians look to. And you need some breakthrough people in various disciplines, and the world of sport will be a bigger one from India. There's no doubt about that. It's exciting, actually, if you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, if you see the performance when Saina Nehwal won a medal in 2012. So then badminton started to grow in the city of Hyderabad, and it even developed, and it became like an industry in Hyderabad when PV Sindhu took it further, and she won 5 medals at the World Championship level, won a silver medal at 2016 Rio Olympic Games. So Bhiwani Boxing Club in Haryana, it's they call it BBC, Bhiwani Boxing Club. When in 2008, Vijender Singh won a medal at the middleweight in the middleweight category. So after that, a lot of boys from Haryana, from different districts, they started to take up the sport. When Sushil Kumar won a medal in 2008 in Beijing, and followed by another one in 2012. A lot of people from Haryana again started to take up the wrestling. So this is how it is in India. You need one icon, and when one icon comes, and when something uh, big at the biggest platform, so then obviously youngsters come up. So what,
There's a couple of questions
like what
here.
you have mentioned in cricket, like what we have done in 1983, and after that the youngsters, they started to pick up the game. So right now that is what is happening in the discipline of boxing in some parts of India, and in some parts of India with that same thing is happening in wrestling and also in shooting. So in Kolkata, I mean in last couple of years, um Jadip Karmakar, he came fourth in 2012 London Olympic Games, and he has got an academy. She was telling me that at least 150 or 200 boys and girls have enrolled in his academy in last few months.
Wow.
So that is what is happening. The different Olympic sports are growing in different parts of India after the success of few sports icons in those sports.
Now, we've got a couple of questions here, Kuntal. Virat Kohli has an NGO which sponsors athletes in different sport category. Is that what you have you heard that?
Yeah, he's helping a lot of athletes. Sumit Nagal, tennis player, is helping him as well. Sumit has done extremely well. See,
Okay.
after
All right.
Leander Paes, after Mahesh, so Indian tennis is not that doing that well. Sania Mirza, of course. So Sumit is a very talented player, and Virat is backing him as well, and he's backing a number of athletes in different sports. So that is good of him. And Olympic Gold Quest, OGQ, and then JSW. There are a number of organizations are backing Indian Olympians and backing the Indian youngsters to take up Olympic sports, and they are backing them very seriously.
Well, that's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
I mean, what about the chance of Hima Das? About the chance of
No,
winning a medal?
she couldn't qualify for the games, and
Okay.
but of course the way she has performed last
It's very
couple of
admirable.
years could
Very
be she's going to win another gold medal perhaps in next Asian Games.
Okay. So we can expect a medal for Mirabai Chanu as well for weightlifting. Is that?
She's a genuine contender for a medal. On 24th July, perhaps India is going to win the first medal. She's going to give the first medal to the country. 24th July
Fantastic.
morning. Yeah, and she's world number 4. But then world number 3, that uh, the lady from North Korea, she won't be able to participate because North Korea is banned in this year's Olympic Games. And there are 2 Chinese weightlifters. They are number 1 and 2 in that discipline. So according to the rule of the game this time, one weightlifter from one any country would be able to participate. So virtually, Mirabai Chanu is world number 2 in that way, and she's got a very good chance of winning a medal this time.
Okay. India is expecting medals in two figures, meaning a double digit.
I would say so. See,
Fantastic.
I can only talk about contenders. It's very difficult. I mean, to put pressures on the athletes that he is perhaps winning a medal for sure. It's not the right way to evaluate him, I would say uh, definite genuine contenders. Because one bad moment in a platform like Olympic Games, one bad moment on that particular day probably might take you away from a medal. But then I haven't seen ever that at least 15 or 16 athletes from India are medal contenders. So that is the big thing.
Oh, that's
How many
huge.
medals are coming? I would not like to. Say how many medals are coming.
That's okay.
But 10 should come. 11 medals should come. But then if the numbers are less tomorrow, the Indian fans might say that he was selling 10, 11 medals, but then say 4 came or 5 came. But then I would say, have you ever seen 14 or 15 or 16 genuine contenders from India? I haven't seen ever. So that is the good sign about Indian sports now.
Absolutely. And it's the more you promote it as a journalist in your country, the more important it is. The platform's there for you to provide that connection to Indians through a network like what you're on here today, as well as the many channels you have that are relevant to that. Okay. Susil Kumar's case impact the medal state of other Indian Olympians. I don't know what that's all about.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, obviously,
Hang on,
it's a setback. He was an icon. Was an icon. A lot of people took up wrestling after his success in Beijing, and so obviously that's a setback for any sport. But then nobody's affected.
Is Thursday 09 correct here? He said that there was a guy who won an Indian medal in 1896. It was a guy called Norman. Is that
Norman
true?
Pritchard. Norman Pritchard. That was on independent India, but then Norman Pritchard won a couple of silver medals in 1896 in athletics. So that is what I have said. That after that, no one could win a medal in athletics. So that is right. Norman Pritchard. Yes, but that was not independent India.
I mean, I can stretch that to say it was Norman, and I'm not that old. So now we've got a cricket question. Ekant Chandra will wait till later about that. Look, I must make it clear to people, if they're not aware now, that Kuntal here that we have is a very, very special guest. He's a very good friend of mine for over 15 years. We've known each other many a times. We've met in Australia and India as well. He has been a great friend, as well as an incredibly knowledgeable person. His knowledge on cricket knows no boundaries, but all the sports which he handles, he has a way of expressing it which is well loved. You're a very, very well liked person, Kuntal, especially from me. And I thank you for coming on here. It's really good to have you talk about what you love, which is sport. But tell me a bit more about you, Kuntal. How long have you been involved in journalism for?
So 18 years now.
18? How did you start?
That was way back. I was in my college. I was in St. Xavier's College in Kolkata. So I started when I was in my college last year. Since then, I worked for Z News and Z Sports in Mumbai, and before that, I was in Kolkata for a couple of years, and then Bombay for around 3.5, 4 years, and then with this organization for the last 14 years.
14 years with ABP, is it?
Almost. I haven't completed 14. Almost 14.
Were you also a weatherman at one stage?
Pardon?
Did you actually deliver the weather as well, or was it always sports?
No, you're perhaps have seen that is just like Virat Kohli bowling. I mean, a couple of overs when wickets are not falling. When Sunil Gavaskar taking Zahir Abbas's wicket, it's like that.
But you've got to explain to the viewers the day that you jumped out of a plane. What was going on there?
I mean, I can hear you.
When you were jumping out of where you were skydiving or something.
Oh, that was way back in 2015 because the next day India were playing Zimbabwe. I mean, so I wasn't too sure that whether the Indian fans would be willing to listen to a preview kind of a story. I mean, what about? I mean, Zimbabwe is like an easy match for India. So obviously, I wanted to do something which perhaps the fans would like to listen, I mean, or like to see. I mean. So a day prior to that match, Indian team didn't practice. That was an optional session. I mean, so chances of getting something from that practice session was even less. So what to do? What to do? I was thinking. Then I came to know that Indian cricketers were not given an opportunity to do that sky diving. So they were asked not to get into that. Perhaps. So I thought, okay, let's take a chance and let me show my viewers that what it is when Indian cricketers were not allowed to do that. So let me show my viewers that what it is actually. But then when I went on the top of the tower, uh, okay, I shouldn't have taken this decision. That was scary. That was scary. I mean,
But you had the microphone in your hand.
so that was difficult because that you need to take the microphone here and then you have to speak like this while jumping. You need to do your commentary like this. So you can't jump like twice. So it's scary, but then there's just one opportunity and you can't even fumble. But because there's somebody at the back will kick you, and you have just got one chance. You have to say a few lines, and then when you're on the air, you have to do your commentary. So that's not an easy job because if you miss, then everything your chances miss. So
But you achieved it. You did it. You landed.
I did it.
You started
Somehow I did it. Somehow.
You landed, and you were talking as you landed, almost perfectly as if you were on the ground the whole time. That was fantastic viewing. One of my favourite things I've seen you do.
Thank you.
Nothing more enjoyable than that. And look, I can assure you, Kuntal and I have had some great times in Australia. He's taken me around India. I think we went to Eden Gardens that day.
Eden Gardens during IPL.
Yep, it was actually.
You have also managed to give me some tickets at the Sydney Cricket Ground. My friends, so from Australia, they're based in Sydney. So they called me. They wanted a few tickets. So which you of course have managed to give me.
And I've had dinner
during the
with them a few
T20 and ODI matches. So I must thank you.
And I had some dinner with them recently. So they've moved from Bondi to the north side now. They've moved far away. But they're great people.
It's a beautiful place.
Had a lot of fun. All right, now, do we want to talk about some cricket now?
Yeah.
Just quickly.
So Norman, I've got 7-8 minutes because we've got a Olympic conclave tomorrow.
How long have you got?
So I've got around 7-8 minutes.
Okay. I'll just bring Aparna on because she wanted to be on with you too. Let me get Aparna on.
So when you want to talk about cricket, I would like to tell you that your favorite man, Greg Chappell, had told Deepak Chahar 13 years back that you must leave cricket.
Join.
You're not capable. So that guy.
Oh really?
See him now. Yeah. Greg Chappell in 2008. Greg Chappell in 2008 had told Deepak Chahar that you're not capable. You must leave the game.
Seriously.
So look at him now. He's winning matches with the bat. He has proved himself as a bowler, and now he's winning matches for India with the bat.
I mean, go on. So let me get this right. Greg Chappell was in the squad, was he?
No, perhaps he was. Perhaps he was in some academy. Greg Chappell was training. I mean, the youngsters as well.
Yeah.
I don't know the place. I forgot the place. But then he told him that you're not capable. So, but nobody took Greg Chappell that seriously. I think that was what about the Indian cricket.
It was a bit embarrassing, really, wasn't it? I mean, for him to say that was quite a That's quite an embarrassing thing to say. Quite a heavy-handed thing. You know, Greg Chappell's also said something about Jason Sanger, who was, you know, to me the next Australian captain, and he actually said that he's not going to be at that level. I like to prove him wrong when saying that, actually, because I think Jason Sanger, and I'm going to say it here now, I think Jason Sanger will be the next major Australian captain for a long time. He might be taking a couple of years to do that. Aparna Saini, meet Kuntal Chakraborty. You don't even know each other.
Hi.
How are you, Aparna?
How are you? I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. अब तो वीडियो भेजती है मतलब एबीपी न्यूज़ के लिए भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया से थैंक यू सो मच और enjoy your videos a lot.
No, that's just an opportunity to work for you. I mean, finally you got a chance to meet. When you going to come to Australia?
Perhaps when India will play next year end.
Yeah, is that for sure?
I think so. If you invite me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be invited. I'm going to do a bit of musical chairs here. Let's have some musical chairs here. Different shots. So, Kuntal, this is a very special moment for both Aparna and I because you helped us greatly with ABP News. Okay, it was a great thing that you did for us, and we really appreciate it. I'm going to just do a bit of flicking around here, getting different photographs. So there we go. Smile, 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 guys, smile. Okay, to me, I can't thank you.
Photos in person.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can't thank you enough. Did you like the one, Kuntal, that Aparna and I did with the Harbour Bridge Opera House? We were mucking around. Did you remember that one? Did you remember that, Kuntal?
Which one?
Aparna and I were joking about the Opera House and Harbour Bridge. Did you like
that?
Yeah.
I can remember, yeah.
Well, we'd like to do more of them. So, okay, let's talk a bit about cricket.
I think we should do a banter when next time Kuntal comes to Australia. Three of us.
We're going to have a three-way banter. We'll have a three-way banter. Okay. Now, actually, cricket guy Sulban, who's another great guest of ours. So there's a Rajasthan Cricket Academy that we were talking about. Is that right, Kuntal?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, he was there in Rajasthan. Yeah, Shobhan has written it.
Yeah. Cricket guy Shobhan has his own show as well.
Yeah, he's right.
He's right, is he? Okay. All right. Now, cricket-wise.
See, when Greg Chappell played the game, he was a legend of the game. But then things have changed over the years. So if you're in India, if you're in subcontinent, you have to know the mentality of the subcontinental boys. From what background they are coming up, what kind of mentality they have, what kind of culture they have, what kind of food habit they have, how they think. And this is very important. So Greg Chappell, when he came, he tried to shape things up from the perspective of Australia. He wanted to share that Australian mentality. So that is I think wasn't the right way. I mean, there are different cultures, backgrounds of the cricketers, the way they think, the social backgrounds are completely different from India and Australia. So I think Greg Chappell had to feel this thing that Greg Chappell had to stay here for 6 months. I mean, the commentators who are traveling in India throughout the year, they know India better. So perhaps somebody like Ricky Ponting, somebody like Brett Lee, somebody like Michael Clark, they have seen India, they have witnessed India better than Greg Chappell. So that is where perhaps he lacked. And that is why he was not that successful despite, he tried well, but then perhaps he never wanted to know the mentality of the Indian cricketers, never wanted to read the mind of the game. So that was the mistake, I would say.
Let's get a question here from Pratu. She said, he's asking you, Kuntal, is there a scope of just being a cricket journalist in the future? Is it a career path?
For him, I missed the question,
Yeah,
but then
example,
of course, the level of interest he has, and it's all about passion. I mean, if he is passionate, he must come.
So, Patrice, there's an offer for you. Come and join us. As you know, Kuntal, the likes of Aparna, a number of people we've had on the show have started their broadcasting careers through passion, and you develop and you become more and more into it. The more you're passionate, the better you are. And Aparna's a great example of that. Kuntal, just a quick take. Sri Lanka, India now, are you disappointed with what's going on, or are you happy with that situation? Well, what I'm getting at there is the way that India are playing. It seems to be a great situation, the way they're playing with so much depth. They can have a full second side that's playing at such a high level. Are you happy?
Cricket, I'm happy. Just because cricket is also an industry, and I would say that Sri Lanka should be happy as well, because right now most of the teams are not traveling that much, and if you are traveling, you need to be at the quarantine for 14-15 days, and then I mean, for a longer series, say India is playing against England. So India went there, played the World Test Championship final, stayed there for a month, and then more than a month, and then they are playing a full Test series. So right now, if India hadn't toured Sri Lanka, they wouldn't have got an opportunity to play. So since India's B team is playing there, they are getting that opportunity. Their cricketers are getting opportunity to play. Their board is earning money in this tough time. So, see, West Indies Cricket Board, Sri Lankan Cricket Board, South African Cricket Board, they're struggling in terms of the revenue. And if the bigger sporting nations, I mean cricketing nations are playing there, like Australia, England. See, England had defeated Pakistan even with the B team. What is wrong? Let Pakistan beat them first, and then let them say that they're playing with the B team. Let the Sri Lankan team. You could see the face of Mickey Arthurs yesterday. He knew that what is happening. What is happening? Even my team is not capable to beat the Indian B team. So that was showing in his face. So when you deserve to say this kind of a thing, then it's fine. But their cricket board must be thankful to BCCI, since BCCI sending its B team and not with the Indian B tag. I mean, they are sending it as the Indian team. So if the team is losing, then India is losing a match, not India's B team is losing a match.
Exactly.
So Sri Lankan cricket team must be thankful. And since IPL, the first 4 or 5 years of IPL, India can even field 3-4 teams now. So given the situation of the cricket economy throughout the world, so this is the need of the hour. More matches are there on TV. It's beneficial for the entire community. So cricket is not merely for the cricketers. There are a lot of people who are living their life through cricket. I mean, there are groundsmen, there are commentators, there are sports journalists, there are a lot of other people associated with the game. So you must understand that in order to get the cricket economy rolling, the more matches are played by this top cricketing countries like Australia, England, or India, that is beneficial. If Sri Lanka can beat India, West Sri Lankan side can beat Indian B side, then it's fine. They can always say why you are sending the B team. But if they can't beat, then they must introspect. They must think that let us beat them first, and then let us raise that topic, raise that question.
Excellently said. That young boy that was on before, Pratush J. is only 15 years of age. How cute is that? The boy was talking about his future. It's great to see him enthusiastic at 15 years of age. Arjuna Ranatunga, we'll talk briefly about that. It was a very stupid comment, wasn't it? You and I know Arjuna pretty well. He's known for his outbursts. That was uncalled for, wasn't it? Kuntal.
See, he's a world champion cricketer. So he didn't take it he thought that it's a little embarrassing perhaps for Sri Lankan cricket. But he must also understand the fact that since he won the World Cup, 25 years have passed, and India can produce 40 or say 50 good cricketers. So if India is sending a team, I mean, which is capable to beat Sri Lanka, and if they're sending the B team and they're still beating Sri Lanka, so it's a time to introspect about Sri Lankan cricket, and I think they must come forward. The greats like Arjuna Ranatunga, Mahela Jayawardena, Kumar Sangakkar, they must spend time with the youngsters of Sri Lanka. They must rebuild Sri Lankan cricket and then again think about this thing, that whether India is sending a B team or maybe a C team. If our football standard is not that high. So we can't expect Messi to come and play against India. So Argentina obviously will set the C or D team to beat India. So we must first introspect, take our game forward, and then we must expect that Messi will come and play against India. So the same thing is happening with Sri Lankan cricket. Now India is going forward. India is perhaps, I mean, 3-4 times better than Sri Lankan cricket at the present moment. So I think Arjuna Ranatunga is a great cricketer, is a legend of the game, but I think he must also think that India took a chance as well, just because what I have said, that if India had lost the game, lost the series, it was India losing the series, not Indian B team losing the series. So
Exactly. That's well said. I mean, the reality is both Pratush, who's 15 years of age, and Suman Awashi have both said in their comments that it's politics. And there is a lot of politics in what's being said. A lot of politics. Very much a political set of questions about the Sri Lankan Cricket Board and the way they, not the BCCI so much, but more what happens within Sri Lanka. So that's certainly a good situation. What about the two new IPL teams? What do you think of that? Good or bad?
it will become even more competitive. I think there'll be even the youngsters who are not getting opportunities. I mean, they'll get opportunities. More young cricketers will get opportunities now, and when they'll share the dressing rooms with the greats of the game, so their confidence level will even increase. That is what had happened in the last 12, 13 years since IPL had started in India. So even the domestic cricketers, when get an opportunity to share the dressing room with somebody like Ricky Ponting, somebody like Sachin Tendulkar, somebody like Saurav Ganguly, somebody like MS Dhoni, so your confidence level automatically gets a boost. I mean, watch the greats of the game, how they approach a game, what they do a day ahead of the game, 3-4 hours before the start of the game. So you know the build-up process, what needs to be done. So they just follow that, and even before entering into the international arena, they know what needs to be done at the international arena. So a classic example is Ishan Kisan. He's coming on his debut match, he's straight away hitting the ball over for long on for a six. So you need a lot of courage, you need a lot of swag is the right word for that. So Norman, I'll make a move.
Just
Let
one last
Aparna take
question.
the strike. I'll let Aparna take the strike now. Hit some good cover drives.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Ask that
Yeah,
question.
well, actually, I want to ask you, with India's powerful support, cricket moves closer to 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. What do you think about that?
So we've got a very good chance. I think if India can touch the double digit this time, then even more youngsters would be willing to take up different Olympic sports, and that would give even more a boost to the Olympic sports in the future. But the way government has done things in last few years, and few non-profit organizations like OGQ have said, Olympic Gold Quest, in JSW, there are a lot of non-profit organizations, and there are a lot of corporates. The way they have joined hands and contributed for Indian sports, especially Olympic sports, I think a very bright future we have in 2028 Olympics.
Women's cricket and
Do you
men's
have
cricket in
any-
the Olympics.
Yes, exactly. And then another question was, what do you think needs to be done to be able to promote?
So now nobody can
Indian
say cricket.
to
So earlier
women.
the criticism was like 50 over game is too long format for the Olympic Games. But now 20 over format or maybe a 15 over format could be introduced, and the number of countries at the present moment are playing cricket is at least competitive cricket. At least 20 countries are playing good cricket. 20-25 countries are playing good cricket. So that is a good number. I think there are a number of sports which is there in Olympic Games where 10 or maybe 12 countries or 8 countries are competitive. But here in cricket, right now, at least 25 countries are playing it properly. 10 countries are very competitive. So it could be introduced anytime. Should be introduced, I think. Come on, Aparna.
Aparna, last
Okay.
question. Quick. Aparna, you got another question? Okay,
Yeah, but I actually want to ask him the same question. What asked Steve Walk when you were doing the interview? What needs to be done for women cricket, Indian cricket team to be promoted to a level to match standards of men?
Women cricket, Indian women cricketers are doing extremely well, and not only their level of cricket have gone up. Look at their fitness level. The other day, I was in the catch. Sachin Tendulkar had posted. I mean, the level of their fitness, the way they are thinking now, they are thinking that they can beat any team in the world. So their confidence level have got a boost. They're playing extremely good cricket. I think more the number of matches they play at the domestic level and T20 cricket. I mean, at the franchise cricket in different countries. Some of them are playing at the Big Bash. If they go and regularly play in England, in Australia at the club level, more matches they get, even get a boost. I think 5 years time, women's cricket, just like women's tennis, will be as popular in India as men's cricket. I think.
Well, that's exciting. Very exciting.
And one thing I would like to add in men's cricket, sometimes things are very predictable. When say somebody like Kyran Pollard is hitting the ball with a big bat, with that kind of a power, so you know what is happening in next 5 years. Last 5 overs, you can predict that say 60 or 70 runs will be there on the board, or 55 runs will be there on the board when the wicket is an easy one. And when say somebody like Pollard, somebody like Dhoni is batting, so Virat Kohli is batting, it's predictable. But then in women's cricket, things are very unpredictable. So two set batters are batting. Last 5 overs, you're expecting 55, 60 runs will be on the board, and 2 quick wickets, and it's like 30 runs, 25 runs. So it's like women's tennis. Sometimes it's very unpredictable. So that is what in men's tennis, it is mostly Federer, it's mostly Djokovic or Nadal. They have managed to win in last say 12, 13 years in most of the Grand Slams. But see, women's tennis, somebody like Ashley Barty is also winning. There are number of levels. You won't be able to remember 8 years back who won the Wimbledon women's tennis, and the same year who won the women's French Open. You have to check the Google and tell me. And the next year it completely changed. I mean, because the women's game is very unpredictable. So that is what is happening in women's cricket as well. So that is the beauty of women's cricket. So I think in 5 years' time it will be as popular if IPL kind of tournament happens in India at the women's level. Right now it is happening at a miniature level. And then if that happens, it will be even more popular, I think. So
Kuntal,
you send me a cap. You send me a
Thanks,
cap and
Kuntal.
other things.
I'm going to send you a cap.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you. Definitely. Can you send me your
and send it to some of your fans who are regularly writing comments as well for you. I think in India. I think
Kuntal, both.
We'll catch up on the phone. Slog over is over. So I'm getting calls from the office.
Okay.
Tomorrow we have got a conclave.
I thank you.
Do watch the ABP Olympic conclave and do tell your viewers to watch the ABP Olympic conclave, ABP News Olympic conclave tomorrow. All the big stars and the former stars, legends of the game, they are coming tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. So got an action-packed day tomorrow. So getting calls from the office. I'll surely join you later and we'll keep in touch on the phone. Aparna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kuntal. You made my
Thank
day.
you,
You made
thank
Aparna's
you.
day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
great friends.
Thank
We'll
you.
see more of you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kuntal.
Thank you.
You can go. Aparna and I will talk about you lovingly when you're gone.
Thank you so much.
Just hit the button there.
Thank
Kuntal.
you.
See you. We've done it, Aparna. That's such an important thing for you and I to have experienced. Having Kuntal on our show, both of our platforms, now that you'll be able to use this.
Him giving his 5 minutes. He's such a big man. He's so busy. And Norman, well done.
To get Kuntal, he's on the verge of talking about the Olympics on the Indian stage to, 29 million subscribers on ABP News. I mean, and viewers, just to let you know, Aparna and I have worked with ABP News, ABP Live, the ABP Sports Enclave. Was it Conclave, he called it? We'll have all the Olympic stars that passed. What a man. He's such a great friend, and he's grown to be one of the leading journalists in India, along with your friend Vikrant Gupta, of course, and Buri Majunda, who we both know, Debashish Sen, we've got, and Gautam Bhattarai. We've got some great friends.
You got him for the interview. We all know it's the same fraternity, and small fraternity, very close fraternity. It's great to see people that we find to know, and same interests. You have to have the same interests as Kuntal said as well.
Well, Aparna, you have to be included in all this because your cricket conversations with Aparna Saini has got 3,200 viewers, subscribers on your platform. You'll have many more. I want everybody here. Pratush, who was only 15, JHA, you can aspire to be like what we've done. Aparna and I, look at me now, look at the screen. Aparna, look at the screen. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. You're not looking. The reality is, look at us. Imagine where you were 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, to now, who you've been sharing a platform with, one of the leading sports journalists in India, namely Kuntal Chakraborty, with Debashish Sen.
And you.
Oh, and me, okay. And Buri Majunda and Vikrant Gupta. And who else can we name? Deep Gupta, we've had Monty Panesar, who's watching tonight. We've had, Adam Hollyoak, Alan Mullally, I mean, Tripali Wirakoti.
Steve Walk.
And Steve Waugh, of course, as well. Jimmy Maxwell. I mean, there's been a whole host of Jeff Thompson. You've been on with Jeff, haven't you? You've been on with Jeff.
Yeah. Yes.
Jeff and Len Pascoe and, oh my God, Dougie Walters. There's a whole host of people.
Walters, yeah.
And then, I mean, on top of that, we've got some of the people we've brought along, like Chris Verner's done fantastically well, hasn't he? He's done a great job. And Aparna, I mean, and you in particular, I mean, you have been fantastic. You are now a true. And look at our Indian audience. Don't forget, I'm going to talk to you. You know what the lovely lady next to me is all about. Cricket conversation part, saying some of the best productions I've seen. She's done some great work when she interviewed on the streets, both at the games and with Steve Waugh. It was amazing. So really, you need to watch her program. And I want you now, Aparna, to take it another level. We should talk a bit about the Olympics, just quickly, just for your knowledge, just so you can have a bit on. Australia has got 400. Now you're going to be quite impressed by this. They have some 437 athletes at the moment going to
India's got 127.
27.
Yeah.
So Australia's got 487. 127 is very good too. But wait a minute, listen to this stat. There are 262 females and only 225 males at the Olympics. Have left Australia's shores. So we have decidedly more women than men that have gone to the Olympics. That is extremely impressive.
That is amazing. I did not knew that.
Yeah, so 487,
wow.
262 are women, 225 are men. 307 of those 487 are actually debutantes. So first Olympics, which is a futuristic look. Look at it. That's a huge number. And in 33 sports. 33. Now, India's got quite a few as well, 127.
I think India's got 127 from 18 sports. Last year was 117, and there was 63 men and 54 women. That's last year. I am not sure about this year's actual stats.
But 18 sports is quite a number. Now, India, in the future, we didn't talk about tennis. Now, everybody, as you probably know or don't know, Aparna Saini was a high-level tennis player, or still could be if she was there. Would be a high-level tennis player.
Association.
What was the association?
It's the ITA, All India Tennis Association. So that's All India ranking.
Fantastic. And it's a great thing to have Aparna. Now that's an Olympic sport, tennis, so you could easily be representing India in the tennis. If you were
I can't wait for the cricket to come as well. That's coming in 2028, hopefully, not confirmed.
I haven't seen you play cricket yet. I've not played a game of cricket with you yet, have I?
No, I'm not. No.
Well, we have to get you on the
they played in 19... Sorry?
No, you I'm talking about.
Oh, me? Oh, I just don't want to embarrass you, Norman.
Oh, here we go. This sort of delusional effort that you've got there, thinking that you're a good cricketer now. We'll wait and see. I'm not convinced on that one at all. No, but look,
that's true.
Can you put that? You need to get Vikrant, now that he's been on my show, you need to get him on your show. We need to arrange an interview. Well, certainly he'll do another one. For sure. Absolutely. And I was ringing you relentlessly.
Joint platform.
I did a relentlessly trying to call you on those days. You didn't answer. So you missed out.
Just missed it.
You go back and check your messages. You'll see that I've written it to you. So, no, I mean, Burias, I'm going to have my 200th live coming up. I'm at 180, I think it's 189 now. Would you believe it? I've had 100, let me have a look. I've had 611 videos. 611. 611 since we started. 611. 422 that are recorded. And 100, this is the 189th live.
Wow.
That's just over 6 months. Roughly one a day. Or thereabouts, on average. It's pretty good, isn't it?
You put so much effort in, Norman, I must admit.
But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I mean, really, I enjoy it.
And you're really good. I mean, it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Read this one. Can you read it? Can you read this?
Don't you think number of overseas should be increased to 5 in IPL, as the 10 into 11 is equal to 110 players? 70 Indians. Wouldn't then the quality be compromised with 70 Indians and players with Warner sitting outside?
Well, this is a 15-year-old boy speaking, and he's doing a great job. I think we should have five overseas players included, especially if they're going to 2 more teams. There's more room. I think they should. I think he's got a point. It won't be compromised.
In the COVID times, it's very hard. So I think this rules fits perfect. And for IPL to start again, which would be soon in Oman, I think it's happening. And so, maybe next year when we get rid of this COVID thing and everything's back to normal.
Do you know it's 2:47 a.m. in the morning?
I know.
But this has been great. This is a worthy show. And this particular episode can be cut up and used in parts for all sorts of things. I mean, having Kuntal on the show, as you know, he's extremely busy. And, he's been called away because the Olympics is a different time. We'll be able, DeBastis, what DeBastis and I are going to do in the next few days? We're going to do one on about the people he has met.
Wow.
And I'm going to turn this into a podcast too, Aparna, on both Apple and on Spotify and a few other platforms that they've got. They're also a different audience altogether. And Australians love that a lot. So we should pursue that.
So how are you going to do that?
So I've already got some of my stuff on Spotify.
That's great.
This has got the audio. You just take you know how to do that. Take the audio away from the visual.
Oh, from this one, yeah.
And just upload the audio directly onto. And there's a platform called, I'll tell you because I've got it here, and I'm going to get you to download it so you can do it on yours as well. It's called Anchor, ANCHOR,
Yep.
Anchor. Can you see that there's a purple one called Anchor?
Yeah, I can see it.
Anchor. Then they do all the legwork for you, and they get
They
Apple,
do it.
Spotify, Fox, all of them.
Wow, I did not know that. That's great.
And we should create our own app. We'll call it whatever we want to call it, and then you have all of both your videos.
So you want me to develop an app, an Android Studio? I can do that.
Well, I'm not joking, because Aparna's done my website, which was fantastic. But Aparna, we should get on podcasts. They become extremely interesting. People listen on planes, all sorts of platforms that you don't expect. I have a lot of people that just listen to the podcast and not to the,
Oh, really?
to the actual
There
visual.
is? I thought YouTube was a big platform, but no, podcast is new. I think I forgot his name.
But Apple, Spotify, what's the other one? What's the other big one? What's run by that guy, the Bezos guy? What's his called? Amazon, Spotify, Apple. That's huge platforms, and it's the audience even bigger than YouTube. Well, not even bigger, but equally as big as YouTube. Quite impressive. Now, look at this young 15-year-old boy.
Well, how many medals do you think, Norman, in Olympics for Australia? Any prediction?
Sorry? Prediction. Well, with 487 athletes, because there were 307 debutants, we're going to have some shocks, especially in the swimming. There'll be records broken. Back in the day, we would have people like Ian Thorpe that came out of the blue as a 16-year-old and won a whole bag of medals. Nobody knew how good he was going to be. Now look at this. This young boy here says, "Can I join your show, sir, through show? Because I'm just a child. It would be disrespect for your show. I love discussing debates on cricket. Lots of those. Yeah, lots of. So okay, Patrish, Patrish, go to my Instagram, and both of ours, our Instagram and our Twitter handles. They're at Norm Koch. What is yours Twitter handle?
Saini02.
Saini02.
Saini, my surname, and 02.
02. So Patrish, send me your email
Twitter,
address.
Everything.
Send me your email address, and we'll put you on. And again, Suman Awashi's right. Lots of people listen to podcasts while driving. They do. So that's an alternative for them. They love to hear. They get subliminally used to your voices. So, okay, producer's prediction is 19 medals. So you don't use social media. You don't use social media. Well, can you? Okay, Patrish, can you email me your put your email address on this platform now, Patrish. Put your email, and I'll send you my email. Okay, Patrish, type your email into the live chat. Okay. All right. So you can mail me. Yes, you can mail me, but you have to send me your email now to the live chat so I can record it and I can email you back. All right. All right. Aparna, you got anything else? Let's go a few more minutes.
I think India will get, my prediction, India will win 14 or 15 medals. But
14, 15 medals.
Yeah. In tennis, I think if you're lucky, in best case scenario, I think Sania Mirza has qualified. For I think she must be going with, what's her name, Ankita Raina. I think in women doubles, that's one medal there.
Okay, well that's exciting because this is the beauty of the Olympics too, Aparna. We just don't know what will happen because a lot of breakthrough results, PBs as they call it, personal bests, occur unexpectedly. So we don't really know until it happens and unfolds. It's one of those things that it's rather. It's rather interesting to see that. And of course, with cricket, we didn't get an answer from Kuntal about cricket. I believe that they're trying to put it into the Olympics in some lesser form, like a T20 or even a T10. That's a new one. We might have created something there. Instead of calling it T10, call it T20. So that's some sort of a hybrid 10-20. They're going to have that, and maybe by the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, which went to Brisbane, don't you?
I think cricket was included before.
Brisbane.
Brisbane has won. It came in 1900.
Brisbane, but it is 1896. A guy called Norman won the first medal for India.
Oh wow, Norman.
Norman Pritchard for India. I'm not joking.
Must be your past life. How old were you there? Must be.
I would have been born, I think, somehow. So, I mean, what was I going to say? So, so what was I talking about? I said 1896 was that what? I said something else. Damn
I said that you said about cricket that we didn't talk, but I said cricket might be included in
yes.
2028.
Well, of course, in Brisbane have won the Olympic rights to bid the Olympics.
Yeah.
In Brisbane, 2032. I mean, you'll be still young enough. I won't be, but you will be. How old will you be then?
Still 16.
Anyway, you'll be young enough to be able to go. I told you I was a language services manager during the Sydney Olympics. I'm going to try to get in connection with people I used to know and get that role again. Why don't you become a part of the Olympics in 2036, 32?
Yeah.
It's 11 years
How
away.
old would you be, Norman?
12. I asked you first. You didn't ask. I'm not going to answer.
I know even if I tell you, you won't tell me. Never ask a man age, salary.
Yeah, but I mean, your age is so young. It won't be a bad thing to mention.
I still want to be 16. You know, everyone wants to stop growing.
You're not 16. I'm sure you're not 16. So come on. All right.
Well, anyway, back to cricket. India would be winning Olympics, and there would be one more medal in 2028 if they go for Olympics. It would be a re-entry. They had one game, I think, in Paris, 1900. Back then, in Olympics.
Wow. That's such a long time ago.
I know.
Jesus.
200 years. Australia was formed probably around that because Australia is only 200 years.
Well, Australia only became the Federation of Australia was 1901. Before that, we were not Australia. We were New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia. We were different states. We were not a country. Interesting.
Very young country.
So, Patricia, have you sent me your email? Send me your email. Who's this? I'm not sure. Suman Awashi saying, please take this England football player, Luke Shaw, played the last 3 games of the Euro with a broken rib. Respect to him. Well, that's a great thing if that's what he did. Isn't it? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's sportsmanship. Look at me and Norman. It's 3:00. We are still on air. I mean, that's dedication. It's not as much as that person, but it requires similar energy.
Well, we've broken some Olympic records somewhere, I think.
I
we'll
know.
be going that's almost 4 hours. Anyway, thanks, Aparna. I think we might end it there,
Yes.
if you like. Thanks again, Aparna. You finished with your cricket conversations. You have to give your finish of your show. How would you finish it?
Well, we have promised to bring some great people on this show with different perspective, and we have done that so far. So join us every week or every match for sure on this every day, every week, every month of this calendar year. You will find us here with some more interesting, different, and insider look. Who has gone through a lot of years of cricket experience as a player, which is Norman, or as one of you guys, which is a great fan of cricket. So join us every night or every week, please. This is Norman Kochanak, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochanak, and Aparna Saini, which is Cricket Conversations. So do follow our channels, like, view, share, and subscribe.
Thank you, Aparna. It was wonderful. So Aparna Saini 02, is that right? Or A Saini?
Yes. So my Twitter, Instagram is A, which is the first initial of my name, and Saini, S-A-I-N-I, 02.
So it's A_Saini _02.
Not underscore. Just
No?
A Saini 02, no space.
Okay,
no
A Saini 02 is her Twitter and Instagram handle and the like. And mine's at Norm Koch. Cricket Conversations with Aparna Saini, and mine is Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. So that's our platforms. And please, guys, if you're here, Patrice JHA, you make sure you subscribe and not just watch. And Patrice JHA, send it out to all your school friends, because you send me your email. You still haven't sent me the email yet. Send me your email, and I'll get you on one day. We'll have a show, and you can be a guest. My promise to you. Give you a go. Give you a chance.
So
All
that's
right?
my channel. It'll come in comments, Norman. If you can pull that one up.
Where is it? Have you done it? Where? That's some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You did it earlier on, didn't you? No, do it again. Put them again. Type it in again. I asked Kuntal what Olympics was the best ever, and he didn't mention 2000. I was upset with him. New comments? There it is. There it is. But Pratmesh Mani Twari has actually written it up for us. What have you done? No. Look at it. See, you got you're one of the people there. Pratmesh Mani Twari has actually done it for us. Is that you? What's happened? You got rid of the volume.
I've done it too.
Huh?
I have also done it. Isn't it hasn't come through? I've commented with my channel.
Or maybe it's on your channel.
No. Oh yeah, maybe that's true. Oh, sorry, I forgot.
That's gone to your channel,
that's
not mine.
true.
That's right. That's right. So we've got it there. We've got it there. Preface done. All right. Well, say goodbye, Aparna. You can.
Thank you so
again.
much. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Thank you, Norman. It's been a pleasure. Always is. And we'll join you again next time.
All right, guys. Say goodbye. This is Norman saying goodbye. Aparna saying goodbye. You've seen our YouTube channel. Subscribe. All the rest of it. Don't go anywhere. Aparna want to talk to you. Take care, guys.
Okay.
See you later. Bye-bye.